Hey guys, welcome back to Models and Beer. Got myself a little break from the Arizona. I am feeling a little bit fresh and ready to get back into it. I thought I would start off a little bit slow rather than getting into a serious project with the Arizona. So I thought I'd go ahead and move on to the main guns and go ahead and get those complete. And then I'm thinking about going to the anchors and the chains, and then comes the bigger stuff, the catapult and all the towers. It has a mess of photo etch to it. The main guns, not so much. So I thought I'd kind of work myself into it. So this is going to be video one of the main guns, the turrets. And so let's go ahead and get right on into it. All right, fellas, here we go. These are the turrets, the four main guns to the Arizona. Each one of these at the moment, coming right out of the sprue, are completely identical. However, once we get into the photo etch, each one of these gets treated differently, which makes them completely different. So what I've done is I have marked each one with a letter, this one being A, turret A, this one being turret B, and etc., C and D. And the reason for that, I don't want to get lost as I'm putting photo etch on and forget which turret I'm working on. Each one of these gets different sets of photo etch. None are the same, is what I'm getting at. So turret A gets, let me see if I can show you here. Turret A is going to get this piece here. This is the photo etch instructions, which gets put on to the top of the turret here. So, and then turret B and C do not get anything like this. They get simple railings. They do get these pieces here, which go around the holes for the guns. They outline that. And then turret D gets one of these. So A and D both get these photo etch pieces. C and D do not. C has the least amount of photo etch simply because it's going to have the catapult that goes onto it. And it does not get painted. That gets painted the ship blue, I should say, the entire turret. A, B, and D are going to have red tops painted to them. And I went ahead and chose Vallejo, the flat red for that. So we'll see how that turns out, but from what I can see through the bottle, it seems to be about the right color. So each one of these needs to have some pieces cut off of them. They're all going to get treated the same way as far as that goes. There is a raised outline over these holes for the guns, and each one of those needs to be removed and smoothed, sanded smooth. They've got photo etch pieces that are going to go around those. And then on the sides, we got the ladders on each side, the imprinted ladders, and each one of those needs to be removed. The ladders, however, are so, they're even hardly even there. It's ridiculous. It doesn't require any knife to get rid of this ladder. Why can't I see that? There we go. A couple hits with the sandpaper and it's gone. So that's pretty simple. And then, like I said, we got to get rid of these outlines here, which is going to require a little bit of knife work on that. I did complete this one already. It's all ready to go, and the ladders are gone. So this one's ready for prime, or photo etch and then prime and paint. So that's kind of where we're at now. I was going to go more into detail as far as the photo etch stuff, but it's kind of confusing the way it is. I think it would be easier for me to go ahead and put everything on and then show you what it looks like afterwards. So let me go ahead and get these rest of these cut or trimmed up and sanded, and then get the photo etch on it, and then we'll be back. So all the not all the photo etch, but I have some of the photo etch applied to the main turrets, the big guns. One little mistake that I did make, and I'm going to point it out in the event that you're building this this model, that you're going to be aware of this. The top of, like I said earlier, the top of these turrets, A, B, and D, are going to get red onto the top. C does not. C is going to have the catapult. So, with that being said, I went ahead and started applying the photo etch, and I went ahead and put the ladders on the side of this one. And this is turret A. Now, the reason this is going to be a problem is because I need to mask this top area, or mask around this top area, so I can shoot that red. These ladders come, I don't know if you can see it, but right to the top of them turrets. There's really going to be no way to put any masking on that without damaging that ladder. So these are going to have to come off, unfortunately. And I hope they pluck right off without a whole lot of difficulty. But there's only 4 points that are attached, and they're very, just as thin as the wire. So I'm thinking that they're going to come off fairly easy. I'm just going to grab some tweezers and pull on each leg, and hopefully, like I said, it plucks right off. But other than that, the photo etch is applied. I got the photo etch around these holes here for the guns. I got the railing. I don't know if you can see that or not. The railing is all in on both sides of the top. And it's got this piece here. This is turret A. It's got this piece here, which looks to be like some cables or hoses or wires or something. And that is in place. And then there's this little tripod piece here, which was in the photo etch. That has been put on. So this is all primered. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it with the blue, and then I'm going to mask and do the red on top. So that one was turret A. This is turret D, and it's basically the same as turret A, other than it has a different shape to these cables or hoses or wires or whatever those are. And it's got its railings. You can see those there. But I did not put the ladders on here. I realized my mistake early enough, fortunately, so I only have to deal with that one turret. And this is turret B. This is also going to get the red top. And I got the railing on there. You can see it here. And again, no ladders, because I learned off of that first one. And this is going to be turret C, guys. This is the one that's going to be getting the catapult. So there is no railings on this side here. It's just on this side here. You can see it there. And you got the photo etch around the openings for the guns. So that's where we are at now. Let me set these back a little bit here. I have got the barrels. Let me throw a couple of these out here. I've got them attached to the blast bags, as you can see, and they are glued in and pretty much ready for business. I got to shoot them with some primer, and then the blue paint, and then those guys will, let me get one of these here, will be going into this area like so. And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. I got to prime these barrels, and I got to shoot the entire thing with the blue. We got to mask the outside of this. We got to shoot the red on A, B, and D, and then we'll move forward from there. So let me go ahead and get that completed, and I will show you the results. Be right back. right, turrets are complete. Couple of things that I think are worthy of mentioning if you're building this kit and doing the turrets is it gives you an option of your barrels. And let me just throw this in here really quick. It'll be easier for me to show you than to kind of explain it. And don't mind my notes on here. If you're using the blast bags, which in my case I did, each one of these barrels is going to be glued into the turret individually. So it doesn't give you an option of, having your turrets up or down. They're going to go in one way. You're just going to glue it in as the picture shows here. It gives you another option of using these barrels here, and that's without the blast bags. So if you use this option here, it gives you a place here to put the barrels into, and then you got a shaft that goes through and locks it all together. And if you go with this option, you have the option of, having your turrets or your barrels movable. But if you're going with the blast bags, you're going to be stuck in a static position. So just to let you know that. I went ahead and went with the blast bags, and it created a little bit of difficulty as far as mounting those onto the turret. These boots that you put into here are not a really tight fit. There's a lot of give around each one of those. So you have to be careful when you're putting, your barrels in, that your next one that you're putting in is going to line up with the first one that you put in. Because there is room for give, and you don't want your barrels to be, one's going out to the left, the other one's going straight. And so you want to make sure as you're gluing those in that each one of those is lined up with the one next to it. And I did the best that I could do. There's some that are not completely, straight. Nobody's ever going to notice that but me. But, just to give you a heads up. So I thought that the blast bags are definitely a better look than just, going with the regular barrels and then being able to see that inside of there. So just a heads up on that. So what I'm going to end up doing is when I mount these onto the ship, I am going to glue these in place. And the reason for that, these barrels, they're kit supplied barrels, but they have a lot of weight. So the front of these turrets are heavy and the back is, not so much. So they have a tendency to want to, dip forward. See how that one did? And I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, the barrels want to hit the ground. So these are going to be glued into place, which is fine because the barrels are glued into place. So it's just everything's going to be fixed as, in a stationary position as far as that goes. So other than that, though, it came out nice. I went with a black on the blast bags. I originally had painted him a really light gray, and it just stood out too much on the ship as far as, everything being in blue and black, and that gray just stood out way too much. I was not happy with that. So I went ahead and went with a black, and I think it looks a lot nicer as far as, appearance wise than that being a place that your eyes directly go as soon as you see it is going to be on those blast bags. So yeah, that's why I went ahead and went with the black on that. So I did use the flat red. I used the Vallejo flat red, and I think I hit a home run with that. The color, the red on here is perfect. It looks nicely weathered. It's not bright. So I highly recommend using that if in the event that you're building this and you get to your turrets. I would go with the Vallejo flat red. So let me give you a quick look at these real quick. I don't know how well you can see it, but I got all the photo etch on. We got our railings on the top. We got our ladders on the side. And everything is painted and complete. So I'm really happy with the way that this came out. This one I believe is turret D, and I think this one is A, and this one is B. And as far as the rest, the turret, they're all pretty much identical. The only differences are on the top of these turrets. Each one has a little bit different photo etch applied to it. And this is going to be, or is, turret C, or number 3. And this is the one that's going to have the catapult attached to it. And there is no railing or anything over here, like I said earlier. I do have the railing up on this side, and I got the ladder on there. So there we have it. I am going to go ahead and I'll get some still shots of this. That way you can better see the detail than through this cam. And then I will get some more pictures after I got it mounted onto the ship so we can see how it looks on there. And then we'll do some closing comments and be done with it. So be back shortly, guys. So there we have it. The turrets are complete. Cheers. They were a little more challenging than I thought they were going to be, but all in all, it went together. They went together fairly good. I'm happy with the results. So now it's time to move on. I am thinking now what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the anchors and the chains and get all that put on there and put together. And from there, the only thing we got left is the towers, the 2 towers. We got the catapult and the planes and the cranes, and our build will be complete. So guys, thank you so much for following along with me on this build. And I should be starting the anchors here in the next day or two. And I think that's going to go really quick. So hopefully I'll have another video up in about 2 or 3 days with that being complete. So for those who are following along with me on my build. And yeah, that's the game plan. I think we'll go do the anchors and chains, and then dive into probably the towers. I think let's go ahead and go on to the towers. And the only reason I've been kind of sandbagging that is it's got a heck of a lot of photo etch to them. And I've been trying to hone my photo etch skills on the smaller stuff, but I think it's time to unleash it. So I'm going to do these anchors, then we're going to go into the towers. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.